The Super Nintendo era, along with the PS1 era, had its fair share of amazing games, but none was more apparent than JRPGs. The one that comes to mind is the Final Fantasy series, which was a completely mainstream series, but what about the more obscure JRPG games like Breath of the Wild or Lufia? That's something that I want to go into today. But I'm not just talking about any game. Oh no, in fact. And honestly, this game is a JRPG of its own kind, adding Western elements along with Western music. This game is completely amazing and keeps the JRPG formula while making it more of a Western JRPG. I'm talking about Wild Arms. One of the best not only JRPGs but video games in general. I found this game by watching Super Beer Bros when they did their Let's Play of the game. While now that Let's Play is the way of the dodo, thanks Greg, you fathead, I was instantly hooked. I bought the game as my first game on the PS3, and once I beat it, I knew it was one of the best games of all time. But just how good is Wild Arms? And does it hold to other JRPGs of that generation? Let's find out now. The development for Wild Arms was drawing clear inspiration for American Westerns, as well as a Western-themed manga called Trigun. By the way, if you want to watch a good anime, you should watch Trigun. I can't recommend it enough. It's one of the coolest animes I've ever seen, and it has the Western thing that this game has as well. And it keeps the steampunk part of it, kind of like this game is. Sony commissioned Mediavision to create 2D along with 3D elements, and thus Wild Arms was born. The game was released on December 20th, 1996, under the name Wild Arms. The gameplay for Wild Arms is just like your typical RPGs. First off, you hit start and the game officially begins. You get to play 3 separate storylines. We'll get to those later on, but upon moving, there are a few things you can do in this particular game. First, you can move just like any JRPG and move pretty slow, but you can also move faster like something in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. You hold down the run button and then move, which will make you move faster. This is really helpful to get across gaps and sometimes can help you to hit switches as well as be helpful in puzzles in the game. That's really something that I like about this game, is that when you go throughout the game there are tons of puzzles. Not all JRPGs have this element, and yet this one does, which to me makes it really unique over other JRPGs. And it's something really special that I like about this game. Having said this, I wish more JRPGs did this more, but this game really does a great job of these puzzles. They range from easy to hard, and mostly really makes this game a different challenge, but it doesn't make the game impossible, and if you've played enough Zelda games, you should be just fine. There are also times that you have the 3 characters split, like I said at the beginning of the review. They don't quite do this enough, but the puzzles are still cool nevertheless. The fighting in this game is also like your typical JRPG. When you get into a fight, you select a command just like in other JRPGs. You still have your basic abilities where you can attack, use magic, and also use special abilities. However, something that I love that they put into this game is a couple of amazing additions to an already great game. For the 2 boy characters, Rudy and Jack, they have weapon attacks. Rudy has guns, which with the correct gun with the perfect enemy can do tons of freaking damage. It's something that I wish other JRPGs had. Steampunk guns, they are freaking awesome. Also, Jack has the ability to use his swords, which even though Rudy has strong attacks, Jack's sword's attacks can do insane damage to enemies. Seriously, check out this clip from my Let's Play. I beat one of the bosses in 2 turns because of Jack's damage.
His fast draw is good. And luckily we did a lot of damage. That was 1,000 damage that was done to this guy. Now not only does this guy have... Oh good, we did get it. Wow. How much damage did that do? Whoa! That's 3,000 damage, so that's 6,000 damage per turn if Jack does the same amount of damage he's doing. That would be awesome. 6,000 damage, I mean, dude, this guy's... What the freak? Are you serious? 2 turns and I beat this guy.
Wow, oh wow. Now, I didn't just get that from grinding really a lot in this game. In fact, it came from apples. The Power Apple raises stats by 1, Mystic Apple raises magic by 1, and the Agile Apple raises a way for you to dodge attacks randomly, and it does it by 1. Yeah, I know, but I love being OP in my RPGs, and this game really does make use of making sure you can max out on any item. But mainly, I do this with the apples, using the 2 with the 3 characters, and having Jack and Cecilia only use with the Mystic Apple, and then the final apple, the Agile Apple, making it so that everybody has incredible speed. Now, I know what you're thinking, Dallin, you didn't get up this far just by fighting battles, did you? No, I used a glitch called the Heelberry glitch, and this is really going to help me get OP. Look, I understand if y'all are mad at me for using this, but I don't really care. This is something I like to do when I play this game. Yeah, I know, but I love being OP in my JRPGs. And this game really makes use of this to make sure that you can max out of any item you want, but mainly I do this with the apples, using the 2 apples with the 3 characters. But Jack and Cecilia only use the Mystic Apple, which will make Jack and Cecilia's beast as far as their magic goes. Other than that, I use the other apples on all 3 characters. Wild Arms, speaking of characters, I haven't talked about them yet. Cecilia is a witch learning spells to become a great spellcaster. The thing I like about Cecilia, she's not too annoying like other characters that come from the same background. She's also a rich girl as her daddy is the king of a kingdom. And like I stated before, she doesn't get too annoying or too petty about her richness. She literally just is one of the gang, and that's awesome. I really like that a lot about her character. She also helps out Rudy get out of his slump where he doubts himself. She really is the glue that keeps this team together. Jack is definitely the cocky person of the group and is the most adventurous, plus his intro is pretty freaking BA. Holy fetch, she's running away from boulders, this is awesome. Rudy is my favorite of the group. He is the silent protagonist of this game, as he is super relatable. He takes down one of the big bosses to save the town and they outcast the guy. What the freak, you ungrateful fetchers? I hope this stupid village burns. The bosses in this game are epic as well, including the final boss. I really enjoy this part of the game, and also I love the recurring characters in this particular game. The graphics in this game are great when you're not in battles. The sprite work is really good and I love the reactions to some of the battles. However, they're kind of meh if you're going into battles. If you look at something like Mario 64, the graphics are better, and that's saying something, but am I going to look at this as a flaw? Nah, because of the limited technology I can't really complain. However, some of the battles look really butt ugly to look at. I really don't like that at all. The music and sound in this game is fantastic. This soundtrack is probably the best PS1 soundtrack I've ever come to review so far. And yes, even something over Final Fantasy 7 and 9, this game's soundtrack is amazing and I love it. The sound is so cool, sounding like something out of Finding Treasure or Adventuring. Overall, I have to say I cannot say much more than the soundtrack is sick and I love it so much. The story for this game is really complicated, but it's a really good story. Our heroes split up and then meet in Cecilia's hometown. After getting to said hometown, they hang out at the fair. The castle is suddenly attacked and they are forced into the castle. After the great escape, our heroes fight and defeat the monsters, only to find that Cecilia's dad has been attacked by one of the monsters. Our opening credits ensue at the funeral. The heroes are set to go into different caves to find guardians which can help them get to the bad guy's fortress. There, awaiting his mother. After defeating Mother on this cool elevator ride, the heroes save the day and the game ends with the world being saved from tyranny that Mother was trying to use by getting said guardians. Phew, that was a bit to swallow, but I really enjoy the story. It's pretty awesome, with some dark twists and turns. Is the story really super groundbreaking though? Well, no, but it really is something I really enjoy. I love meeting the characters and the way the game opens up, and as far as the bad guys, they're freaking excellent. There isn't too many bad guys in this game that I can say aren't cool, and that really kind of helps the game really stand out over other JRPGs of this era. Wild Arms is an amazing game, and anyone who is on an RPG binge or just wanting to have fun with an RPG they've never heard of, this game is for you. There's really no flaw in my opinion except the graphics, but the graphics in this game are really good. You just need to overlook the battle graphics. But I also do feel like the gameplay, story, sound, and music, and some of the other elements like the bosses I mentioned earlier, are too much to call this an imperfect game. And the thing about the graphics they were just a product of their time. It's just unfortunate. With that, I do give the game score a solid 10 out of 10. This is an excellent game and definitely one you should try out. Well, that's it for the PlayStation 1 marathon. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next week we'll be doing a different kind of video. It's still going to be a review video, but it's going to be something different. And then after, I'll be taking a break for a week. So folks, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.